When a woman showed up at my gate in the dark and said she had nowhere else to go, I thought letting her in might destroy the little life I had left. I was wrong. It destroyed the life I was barely surviving and started something else, something I didn't think I was allowed to have again. My name is Caleb Moore. I am a single dad, a widower, and the last Moore stupid enough to still be working our old family farm in the middle of Ohio. By the night she came, the farm did not feel like a home anymore. It felt like a museum where all the people in the pictures were dead. I was standing at the kitchen sink, hands in cold dishwater, staring out the window at fields I had stopped seeing a long time ago. The October sky was lit up in gold and red, the kind of sunset people pull over to take photos of. I barely noticed. Beauty just reminded me of what I lost. "Daddy," I turned. Emma stood in the doorway, clutching her stuffed rabbit by one ear. 6 years old. Brown eyes like her mother's. Stubborn little chin like mine. Hair wild from playing outside. "Yes, sweetheart. Are we having dinner soon?" "I'm hungry," I looked at the clock. 6:15. I had been standing there like a ghost for almost half an hour, washing the same plate. "Give me 10 minutes." I said, "I'll heat up the casserole Mrs. Henderson brought." Her shoulders fell a little. Mrs. Henderson's casseroles taste like salt and pity. She means well, like half the town, but every dish comes with the same silent message. "We are so sorry for you. Sorry your wife died in a simple surgery that went bad 3 years ago. Sorry your dad followed her with a heart attack. Sorry your mom followed him because she could not live without him. Sorry you are 32 and look 45, trying to raise a daughter alone on a farm that feels more like a chain than an inheritance." "Okay," Emma said quietly and padded back to the living room. Coloring books all over the floor, cartoon voices from the TV filling the empty rooms. I dried my hands, opened the fridge. 3 casseroles, half a gallon of milk, some sad lettuce, a drawer full of condiments. This was my life now. Leftovers and charity. Scrubbing a house that still smelled like hospital in my head, even when it did not in real life. I shoved the casserole in the oven and stepped out onto the front porch while it heated. The screen door slammed behind me. The air was cold and clean, carrying the smell of turned soil and wood smoke. The harvest was mostly in. Corn yields okay, soybeans fine enough to keep the bank off my back one more year. I leaned on the railing and lit a cigarette. Picked up the habit after Sarah died and never put it back down. From here I could see everything I had not left. The barn my grandfather built in the 50s. The chicken coop my dad fixed every spring. The tiny cemetery 3 miles down the road where my parents and my wife lay in the ground, holding me here like anchors. I never planned to stay. As a kid, I dreamed of cities and bridges and loud nights. Engineering school, big projects, new skylines. Then Sarah got pregnant in our senior year. We married. I took a job at the grain elevator. My parents started getting sick. One thing after another. My dreams turned yellow in a drawer somewhere while I turned into the kind of man who measures time in fences and fuel bills. "Daddy, something's burning." I snapped back, tossed the cigarette into the dirt, rushed inside. Smoke curled out of the oven. I yanked the casserole out. Not burned, just crusty on the edges. "Sorry, Em." Got distracted. She stood there in the doorway, rabbit in one arm, studying me with eyes that knew too much. Kids who lose a parent learn to read the room like weather. "It's okay," she said. "It still smells good." It did not, but I smiled anyway. "Go wash your hands. Dinner in 5. We ate with the TV murmuring in the other room. Emma pushed green beans around her plate and slipped a few to Jasper, our old border collie, under the table. I chewed without tasting anything, already thinking about tomorrow's list. Fence in the north pasture. Pump check. Call feed supplier again, Daddy. "Yeah, Em. Can I have a friend over sometime? Macy from school." "She has a trampoline." She hesitated. I told her our house is boring. "We've got a tire swing and a treehouse." I said, "Like, that fixed it. It's not the same. And you're always sad." Those 4 words hit harder than any punch. I wanted to lie, to say I was fine. But I have never been able to lie to my daughter. "I'm sorry, Em," I said softly. "It's okay. Can I be excused?" "Yeah, go ahead." When she left, the silence in the kitchen felt heavier than the dishes in my hands. I cleaned up slow, washing plates by hand even though there is a perfectly good dishwasher humming in the corner. The motion calms me. By the time I was done, night had fallen. Through the window over the sink, a few sharp stars blinked in the dark. Then I heard it, the crunch of tires on gravel. I froze. We do not get visitors, not at this hour, not down this long driveway. Headlights swept across the barn, then went dark. A car door opened and closed carefully, like whoever it was did not want to make noise. My hand went up toward the rifle hanging over the door, then stopped. It was probably someone lost. Or Mrs. Henderson with another dish. Her old Buick rattles. This engine had sounded weaker, higher. I opened the front door and stepped out onto the porch. That was when I saw her. A woman stood at the gate in the yellow circle of the porch light. Jeans. Thin jacket that was no match for October. Dark blonde hair yanked into a messy ponytail. A duffel bag over one shoulder. She held herself stiff, like if she relaxed even a little, she would fall apart. It took me a second, then I placed her. The diner. Laya. She had been waiting tables there for at least a year. Always quick, polite, a tired kind of kind. My wife used to like her. Said she had soft eyes. Right now those eyes looked hunted. Laya, I called. She flinched at her name, then lifted her chin and stepped closer to the gate. I'm sorry, she said. Her voice was rough from holding back tears or from not speaking for a while. I shouldn't have come. I didn't know where else to go. My stomach tightened. What happened? She looked back over her shoulder at the car parked by the ditch. Old Honda. Missing hubcap. Then back at me, I got fired. She said evicted. They're saying I stole from the diner. $800. I didn't. But everyone believes them. I have nowhere to go. There it was. The sentence that would change everything. I should have asked more questions. I should have thought about Emma upstairs in her pajamas. I should have thought like a man who has something to lose. Instead, standing on that porch in the cold, looking at a woman who had no coat and no options, I heard myself say the words that started it all. Come inside. She stared at me, like she was not sure she heard right, what she asked. Come inside. I repeated, it is cold. You look like you have not eaten. We can talk in the kitchen. I do not need charity, she said. Her fingers dug into the strap of her duffel bag. It is not charity. I said, it is a warm house and a plate of food. That is it. Quote. For a second I thought she would turn around and get back in her car. Her jaw worked, fighting with her pride. Then her shoulders slumped. Okay, she whispered. I walked down and opened the gate. When she stepped past me, I could smell rain and engine oil and fear on her clothes. Up close, she looked worse. Her cheeks were hollow. Dark circles under her eyes. A small cut on her lower lip, like she had bitten it too hard. Inside, the house felt different right away. I had never noticed the echo before. Now, with another adult in the room, the walls did not seem so wide. Sit, I said, motioning to the kitchen table. I will get you coffee. Thank you. She slid the duffel bag down beside the chair but kept one hand resting on it, like she was ready to grab it and run. The casserole was still on the stove. I dished out what was left and shoved it in the microwave. Poured 2 cups of coffee. The normal house sounds felt loud. The fridge humming. The tick of the clock. The TV faint from the living room. When did you last eat? I asked. She gave a short laugh that was not really a laugh yesterday morning. I think. Time got a little blurry today. Eat first, I said, setting the plate in front of her. Then we talk. Quote. She picked up the fork, her hand shook. She took one small bite, then another, then gave up on pretending. She ate like her body woke up and remembered what food was. I am sorry, she said around a mouthful, cheeks flushing. I know this is weird. I told myself I would never be this person. Showing up at a stranger's house. We are not strangers. I said, you know my name, I know yours. You poured my daughter's chocolate milk for a year. Her eyes softened at that. How is Emma? She asked. She always brings her stuffed rabbit. That thing is falling apart. She loves it, I said. She is fine. As long as I keep food in the house and monsters out of the closet. Leah smiled, but it slipped fast. I should explain, she said, setting the fork down, so you know what you are bringing into your home. Okay, I said. Start at the beginning. She wrapped both hands around her coffee mug like she needed the heat. 2 weeks ago, she said, the owner called me into the office. He said $800 was missing from the register, said someone told him I took it. That, they saw me. I told him I never touched the register except to ring up checks. He said he trusted his source more than a girl who lives over a hardware store. Who was the source, I asked, already guessing Marcus Greer. She said, and the name tasted sour in the air. I knew Marcus, everyone did. Big shot contractor. Rich. Loud. Used to getting his way. He started sitting in my section every morning. She went on. At first it was harmless. Extra tips. Jokes. Then it got personal. He asked if I was seeing anyone. Offered to take care of my rent. Said it would be nice for me not to worry so much. I told him I was not interested. Let me guess. I said he did not like that answer. Her smile twisted. He stopped tipping. Then he stopped coming in. A week later, the money goes missing. He tells the owner he saw me near the register. No one checks cameras. No one checks the schedule. I am fired. The same day, my landlord gets a call from his cousin who works for Marcus. Suddenly, my month-to-month room is gone. 48 hours to move out. She laughed again, short and sharp. Joke is on them. I did not have much to move. You went to the police, I asked. The sheriff plays poker at Marcus's house on Fridays, she said. He looked at me like I was a stray dog that bit someone. Said it was a he said, she said thing. Said with my record it would be hard to make a case. Your record? I asked. I stole a sandwich when I was 16, she said quietly. 2 days without food and a gas station with bad security. I got caught. Got a juvenile mark. Nothing since. But in a small town, one mistake is your whole story. I watched her face while she talked. The way she held herself. The way her voice shook only when she spoke about humiliation, not hunger. I did not see a liar. I saw someone pushed against a wall. Before I could say anything, a small voice came from the doorway. Daddy Emma stood there in her pajamas, rabbit hanging from one hand, thumb in her mouth. She blinked at Leah, then at me. Who is that? She asked. I had not planned this part. This is Leah, I said. You remember her from the diner. She is going to stay here for a little while. Leah straightened and wiped her hands on a napkin. Hi, Emma, she said gently. I like your bunny. Emma hugged the rabbit closer. Her name is Rosie, she said. Are you going to live here? Just for a bit. Leah started, but I cut in. She is a friend who needed help. I said she will be in Grandma and Grandpa's old room. Quote, Emma studied her with that serious little frown. Do you like pancakes? She asked. Leah blinked. I love pancakes. She said Daddy makes them on Saturdays. Emma explained. It is Thursday, so that is almost Saturday. Despite myself, I smiled. Nice try. I said it is cereal tomorrow. Pancakes on real Saturday. Emma sighed like I had said the most unfair thing in the world. Okay, she muttered. Good night, Daddy. Good night, Leah. Good night, honey, Leah said. When Emma was back in her room, I turned to Leah. I am sorry. She said, I did not mean to drag your daughter into this. You did not drag her into anything, I said. You came to a door and knocked. That is all. I took a breath, feeling the weight of what I was about to say. I have a spare room, I said. It was my parents' room. It is clean. It has a bed. You can stay there for a few nights while we figure something out. Her eyes widened. I cannot ask you to do that, she said. You did not ask. I said I am offering. She looked down at her hands. I will pay you back, she said. Somehow, I can work, clean, cook, help with the farm. I will not just sit here. We can talk about that later, I said. Right now you need sleep. Quote. I showed her the room. It was small and old but neat. My mother's quilt still on the bed. The window looked out over the fields. Laya set her duffel on the floor and turned to me in the doorway. Why are you doing this? She asked. I knew the simple answer. Because I had seen that look before. In my own mirror after Sarah died. In Emma's eyes when she woke up crying, asking where Mommy went. Because someone should. I said. That night I lay awake staring at the ceiling. I could hear the house in a new way. Emma's soft breathing down the hall. The wind against the old siding. A single board creak as Leia shifted in the spare room. Part of me was sure I had made a mistake. I had brought a stranger into my safe little routine. I had invited trouble with Marcus Greer and an entire town that loved to talk. But for the first time in 3 years, the farmhouse did not feel like a tomb. It felt like something was waking up. Morning came cold and gray. Habit woke me at 5:30. Coffee on. Boots on. Chores waiting. The same as always and not the same at all. I was pouring the second cup when Laya stepped into the kitchen. Her hair was damp from a quick shower, pulled back in a knot. She wore the same jeans and a clean t-shirt. Morning, she said. Morning. I answered, I should probably go before your daughter wakes up, she said. No need to confuse her too late. Tiny footsteps slapped the hall. Emma came in, saw Laya, and froze. You were still here, she said. Laya's mouth tugged into a shy smile. Still here, she said. If that is okay. Emma looked at me. Is it okay? She asked. I had a lot of reasons to say no money. Gossip. Marcus. Fear. I looked at my daughter, then at the woman standing in my kitchen, holding her coffee cup like armor. It is okay. I said for now. Emma nodded like that. Settled it. Good. She said. Because I already told Rosie you were staying. Emma accepted Laya faster than any grown-up ever would. By the time we finished breakfast that morning, my daughter was telling her about her favorite cartoon, her least favorite vegetable, and the fact that our rooster's name was Kevin, because he looks like a Kevin. Leia listened like every word mattered. Ill. She asked questions. She laughed at the right places. She put her empty plate in the sink without being told. When Emma went to brush her teeth for school, Leia turned to me. I meant what I said. She told me I want to work. I do not want to sit here as a guest while your life falls apart. My life has already fallen apart. I said before I could stop myself. Her eyes softened in a way that made me feel seen and exposed at the same time. Then, maybe we can keep it from falling apart more, she said. Show me what needs doing. By 7:30, she was wearing one of my old jackets and boots that were a size too big, walking beside me to the chicken coop. The morning was crisp, frost on the grass. Her breath showed in little clouds. You do not have to start helping today. I said you can take a day to rest. If I sit still, I will start thinking, she said. Thinking is not my friend right now. I knew that feeling. She watched how I moved around the hens, then did it herself. She jumped at the first flap of wings, then laughed at herself. By the time she carried the egg basket back to the house, she looked a little more solid, like labor had given her something to stand on. When it was time to take Emma to the bus stop, I hesitated. Do you want to come? I asked Laya, or stay here? She started to say stay, then stopped. If people are going to talk, they will talk whether I hide or not, she said. I might as well look them in the eye. So she climbed into the truck beside me while Emma slid into the middle. The bus stop was at the gravel crossroads a mile down. 2 other trucks were already there. Kids hopped in the cold. Parents stood with coffee mugs, talking in low voices. As soon as I pulled up with Laya in the passenger seat, those voices died. I got out. Laya followed. I did not miss the way their eyes tracked her. Morning, Caleb, said Janet, the teacher's aide in the unofficial town news station. Did not know you had company. This is Laya, I said. She is staying at the farm for a bit. Janet's smile went tight from the diner, she said. Her friend Stephanie leaned toward her and whispered, not as quiet as she thought. I caught the words, money and thief. Emma ran to join her friends, blissfully unaware. I could feel heat climbing my neck. Is there a problem? I asked. No problem, Janet said quickly. Her eyes slid back to Leia. We just worry, you know. Small town. People talk. Having someone like that around Emma is maybe not the best idea. Someone like that. I stepped closer. Someone like what? I asked. Someone who needs a place to sleep and a hot meal, or someone who is accused of something by a man who thinks no one can say no to him. Color rose in Janet's face. I am only saying be careful, she said, for Emma's sake. For yours. The only person I am careful of is Marcus. I said, you should try that too. The bus rumbled up the road, saving the moment from getting worse. Emma hugged me, waved to Laya, and climbed aboard. As it pulled away, I heard one of the other moms mutter, poor kid, like Emma was already doomed. Back in the truck, Laya stared straight ahead. I told you this is what it is like, she said. You are putting a target on your back. Maybe it was time someone did, I said. She shook her head. You have a daughter, she said. A farm. Roots. I have an old Honda and a duffel bag. I can leave. And go where I asked. Sleep where? In that car, until the gas runs out. She did not answer. We drove in silence until the farm came back into view. When I parked, she turned to me. If this starts to hurt Emma, she said, I go. No argument. Let me worry about Emma, I said. Maybe you should listen to me for once. She shot back, then winced. Sorry. That came out rude. It came out honest. I said I can handle that. Quote, the truth was, fear was curling in my gut. Not that minute, but in the cracks. The way the other parents had looked at my daughter. The way someone like that had rolled off Janet's tongue. After chores, after lunch, after Emma came home and pulled Laya out to the yard to show her the tire swing, my phone buzzed. Unknown number, Mr. Moore. A man's voice said, This is Mike from the grain elevator. We had done business for years. What can I do for you, Mike? I asked. He cleared his throat. Look, Caleb. He said, you know I respect you. You are one of the good guys. But I am getting pressure. Some of our bigger accounts are unhappy. I am still taking your grain because of who is living in my house, I said. He did not deny it. People are saying things he said about that girl. About you. About what kind of environment your daughter is in. I closed my eyes and gripped the phone tighter. So if I do not kick her out, I said, you cut me off. I do not want to, Mike said. But Marcus does a lot of business with us. He made it clear he does not like us being in the middle. I have to think about my family too. That is fine, I said, my voice flat. I will find somewhere else to take my grain. Quote, Caleb, come on, he said. Do not throw your farm away over a girl you barely know. I hung up. My hand was shaking when I put the phone down. My heart was pounding, not just with anger, but with the cold weight of what that call meant. They were not just talking. They were squeezing. I found Laya on the back steps with Emma, tying a ribbon around Rosie the rabbit's neck. I need to talk to Laya a second. Em, I said. Can you go check if Jasper has water? Okay, Emma said, racing off. Laya looked at my face and stood up fast. What happened? She asked Mike at the elevator. I said he is dropping my account. Says Marcus does not want him doing business with me while you are here. Her face went white. I am leaving, she said at once today. I will pack my bag. I will go before this gets worse. No, I said yes. She said, you have a child to feed. A farm to keep. You cannot risk all of that for me. You did not frame yourself, I said. You did not call that man and ask him to threaten me. Maybe not, but I am the easiest thing to cut out, she said. Take me out of the picture, and Marcus has no reason to push you. Anger flared in my chest. "That is not how this works," I said. "You think if you leave, he will just stop? He went this far because you said no. Men like him do not stop until everyone learns to say yes or shut up." "So what do we do?" she asked. "Let him destroy you too?" "Fight back," I said, before I even knew what that meant. Her eyes searched my face like she was trying to see if I was serious. How, she asked. "He owns half the town. He has money, friends, a sheriff who plays cards at his house. I have a duffel bag and an old car. You also have the truth," I said. "That counts for something. Truth does not matter if you cannot prove it," she said. The words hung there between us. Earlier, she had mentioned cameras at the diner and how no one checked them. An idea that was more like a bad plan started forming in my mind. "Those cameras," I said slowly, "the ones in the diner. Do you know where the footage is saved?" "In the back office," she said. "Owner keeps it on a computer. He only checks it when a fight breaks out or a drunk refuses to pay." "How long does it store video?" 30 days, I think." She said. Why I looked at her. "Because if that footage is still there," I said, "it might show exactly who took that money." Quote, realization hit her face like a light turning on and then flickering with fear. "You are not talking about asking nicely," she said. "You are talking about going in there. The diner is closed at night." I said, "Old building. Old locks. I know my way around both." "That is breaking and entering," she said. "You could go to jail, Caleb." "I already feel like I am serving a sentence," I said. "At least this way I would be doing something." She shook her head. "I am not worth that," she whispered. "Do not tell me what is worth what on my own farm," I said, my voice low. "I am the one who gets to decide what I stand up for." She stared at me for a long time. Fear fought hope in her eyes. "If we get caught," she said, "they will say, 'See, we told you she is a thief.'" "If we do nothing," I said, "they win without trying." A wind gust pushed cold air across the yard. Somewhere in the field, a crow called. It felt like the whole place was listening. "I am scared," she said. "Me too," I said. "But I am more scared of raising Emma in a world where bullies always win." Laya's jaw clenched. She looked at the fields, the barn, the farmhouse, like she was measuring everything she might break. When she asked, "Tomorrow night," I said. "The diner closes early on Tuesdays. Emma has a sleepover at her friend's place. We go in, grab the footage, get out." She let out a slow breath. "Okay," she said. "If we are doing this, we plan it right. No hero moves, no cowboy stunts. We are careful," I nodded. "Careful," I said, "but not quiet." Because for the first time in 3 years I was done being quiet. The next night felt like walking on a high wire with no net. Emma was at her friend Macy's for a sleepover. I had lied and said I had paperwork to do. The real paperwork sat on my kitchen table, a rough, hand-drawn map of the diner from memory, and the words, "Back door, office, camera box," written in my bad block letters. "You can still back out," Laya said as she zipped her jacket. "You can pretend you never heard my story. It will not hurt my feelings. You have already done more than anyone else. I am not backing out. I said I already told you. I am tired of being the guy bad things happen to. I want to be the guy who does something." She held my eyes for a second and nodded. "Okay," she said. "Then let us do it right." We drove to town with the headlights on low. The diner sat on the corner like it always did, silver and tired. Neon sign-off for the night. The parking lot was empty. My hands were damp on the steering wheel. "You sure there is no alarm?" I asked. "The owner brags he never needed one," she said. "Says knowing everyone in town is better than any security system. Guess that is about to bite him," I muttered. We parked around back behind the dumpsters. The smell hit first, then the quiet. Small towns at night are not like cities. When the doors and windows shut, everything just stops. Laya led me to the back door. "Lock sticks if you pull toward you while you turn," she whispered. "Saw the owner fight with it for years." I took out the thin metal strip I used for old barn locks and slid it in. She was right. It was stubborn. And then, suddenly, it gave. The door opened with a soft click. My heart jumped into my throat. We slipped inside. The dark diner felt wrong. No clatter of plates. No hiss of the grill. Just rows of empty booths and the faint hum of fridges. The office was at the back. Small, cluttered, old computer in the corner. A box with wires on the wall. That is the DVR, she said. The cameras feed into that. Quote, I sat at the computer, woke it up, and watched it crawl to life. The security program looked old. Simple menus, date stamps, and a list. What day was it? I asked. She told me. I scrolled back. The timeline loaded, broken into hours. Here, she said, leaning over my shoulder. I could feel how tense she was. We clicked into the hour when the money went missing. The black and white image of the diner popped up. Overhead view. Counter. Register. Front door. We let it run at fast speed. Tiny people moved like bugs. Leah came on screen near the end of her shift, wiping a table. At that point, the report said, the drawer had already come up short. Back it up, she said, early morning. Before my shift, I slid the bar back. An empty diner. Then the front door opened. A man in a suit jacket walked in and headed straight for the counter. Even with the grainy picture, we both knew who it was. Marcus Greer. My jaw clenched. We watched him lean over the counter when the cook went to the back. He walked around like he owned the place, opened the register, slipped bills into his jacket pocket, closed it, and walked back out the door. Clear as day. That is it, I said. That is your 800. Leah put a hand over her mouth. Her shoulders started shaking. I thought she was crying. Then I realized she was laughing, half hysterical. He really did it, she whispered. He really stole it himself, and then blamed me. I shoved a flash drive into the port. Maybe he has been doing this for years. I said, we can look later. Right now, we take this and go. The file transfer bar crawled across the screen. My chest hurt from how hard my heart was beating. Come on, I muttered, hurry. Halfway through, headlights swept across the front windows of the diner. Leah's hand dug into my arm. Someone is here, she said. We heard an engine cut off. A door shut. Keys jingling. Owner, she whispered. He does a last check some nights. The progress bar hit the end. Grab it, she hissed. I pulled the drive, closed the program, and shut off the monitor just as footsteps came down the hallway. Back door. I whispered. We moved. Fast, but trying to be quiet. My boots felt like they weighed 50 pounds. Every noise sounded huge in my ears. We slipped out the back just as a key turned in the office door. We ran for the truck. My breath burned in my chest. My legs felt rubbery. I forced myself not to sprint once we were in the open lot. Running would draw a line of sight. Walking fast might look like any late-night couple cutting through to their car. We got in. I turned the key with shaking hands and drove away at the speed of a man who had nothing to hide, not the speed of a man who just stole the truth. We did not say anything until we were out of town and the lights were behind us. Did we just commit a felony? I asked. Probably, she said. I glanced over. Her cheeks were flushed. Her eyes were wild. There was fear there, yes, but also something else. Hope, sharp and bright. You okay? I asked. She nodded, for the first time in weeks. She said, I feel like I can breathe. I smiled, even though my hands were still shaking. Then, it was worth it, I said. We turned into my long gravel drive. That was when I saw the truck parked in front of the house. Big, black, expensive. Leah's fingers clamped down on the flash drive in her pocket. That is him, she said. Marcus. He was standing on my porch like he owned the place, hands in his pockets, leaning against the rail. He straightened when he saw my headlights. Stay in the truck, I said quietly. No, she said. He is here because of me. I am not hiding. Quote, then lock the doors until I tell you to get out. I said he does not need both of us within reach. I stepped out into the cold night air. "You are trespassing," I said as I walked up. "Get off my porch." "Now that is not a polite way to greet a neighbor," he said. His smile never reached his eyes. "We are all neighbors here, right, Caleb? What do you want?" "Just a chat, man to man." He said about your house guest. "My house guest is none of your business." He laughed. "That is where you are wrong," he said. "See, when a known thief is staying with a man who has a little girl, people get nervous. They start wondering what kind of example that sets. They start calling their old friend Marcus, asking if he is concerned." He took a step closer. "I am concerned, Caleb." He said, "I am concerned you are letting a liar and a criminal live under your roof with your child." "She did not steal that money," I said. "You keep saying that," he said. "Funny." The diner owner does not agree. The sheriff does not agree. Half the town does not agree. Who do you think a judge will believe? He let that sit for a second, then changed his tone. "I am here to help you," he said, "to give you a way out before this gets ugly. I am not taking anything from you." I said I did not say I was offering money. He said, "I am offering peace. All you have to do is send her away. Tonight. Tell her to pack that sad little bag and drive until this county is a bad memory. And if I do not," he smiled a different kind of smile then. Colder. "Then people start making calls," he said to the sheriff, "to Child Protective Services. They start saying maybe Emma's daddy is not thinking straight. Maybe he is lonely. Maybe he is letting that loneliness cloud his judgment." He leaned in. "Maybe he is putting his daughter at risk," he said. "You know how fast CPS moves when someone important tells them a child might be in danger?" My hands curled into fists. "You are not taking my daughter." I said, "I do not have to take her," he said. "The state can. I would just be a concerned citizen. You understand?" Behind me, I heard the truck door open. Laya's footsteps on gravel. "Do not." I hissed without turning. "I am not letting him threaten Emma because of me," she said, coming up beside me. Her voice shook, but her chin was high. "This is between you and me, Marcus," she said. "Leave him and his daughter out of it." He looked her over, slow and mean. "Funny," he said. "You did not mind using him when it suited you." Poor Caleb. Lost wife. Sad eyes. Easy mark. You women always find the weak ones. Heat flashed behind my eyes. "That is enough," I said. He ignored me. "You could have had a nice life," he told her. "You could have had an apartment, a car that starts every morning, no more double shifts. All it would have cost you was a little company now and then." "I would rather sleep in my car," she said. "Careful," he said. "You are about to get your wish." Or, I said, "You can leave my property right now and start thinking about what you are going to tell a judge when he sees you stealing from that register." He froze. "What did you say?" he asked. I answered, "The camera angle is not great, but it is clear enough. You open the drawer. You take the cash. You put it in your jacket. You walk out. Timestamp is an hour before Laya even starts her shift." His eyes flicked to Laya's pocket. He was fast, but not fast enough. She stepped back before he could grab for her. "You broke into the diner," he said. The friendly tone was gone now. "You and this little tramp. Do you know how much trouble you are in? Do you know how much you are in?" I asked. "False report, theft, using cops as your private club, threatening a child's home. I do not know the legal names for all of that, but I bet the state attorney does." "You call the sheriff," he said. "He will take my side." "I do not plan on calling the sheriff." I said I plan on emailing the state. "With a copy of the video and a list of names of every woman you have pulled this act with." For the first time, he looked unsure. "You think anyone will believe you," he said. "They do not have to believe me." I said, "They just have to watch you helping yourself to the till." We stared at each other. The air between us felt thick. "You send that anywhere," he said softly, "and I will make sure you regret it. Both of you." "I will not stop." "You already do not stop," I said. so I do not see a difference." He stepped back, rage crawling over his face. "You think you are some kind of hero?" "More," he said. "You are just a scared little farmer who is about to lose everything." "Maybe," I said. "But if I do, it will not be because I let you walk all over us." I pointed down the drive. "Leave," I said. "Next time we talk, it will be with someone in a suit standing between us." He stared at both of us a second longer, measuring something, then turned and walked back to his truck. "You are done," he called over his shoulder. "You just do not know it yet." He drove off, gravel spraying behind him. The minute his taillights disappeared, Laya's legs wobbled. I grabbed her before she hit the ground, and we both sank onto the porch steps. "I am so sorry," she said. Tears ran down her face. "I should never have come here. I am ruining your life." "You did not ruin anything," I said. "He did." "He is going to come after you now," she said, after Emma. "Then we do this fast," I said. "Tonight. Tomorrow. We send the video. We send every detail. We do not give him time to twist it." She wiped her eyes. "What if they do not believe us?" she asked. "What if they do?" I said. I took her hand. It felt small and cold in mine. "I cannot promise this will be easy." I said, "I cannot promise we will not lose things on the way. Friends, business, maybe more, but I can promise you something else." She looked at me. What she whispered. "You will not be alone again." I said, "Not while I am breathing. Not in this fight. Not in whatever comes after." Her eyes searched mine like she was trying to find any sign of a lie. Whatever she saw there must have been enough. "I do not know how to trust that," she said. "Every time I thought someone would stay, they left." "I am not them," I said. My voice came out rough. I loved my wife. Losing her hurt like hell. But I am still here. I am still a father. I am still a man who knows how to hold on. My heart pounded. The next words felt like walking into the open with no cover. "And I am falling for you, Leah," I said. "Not because you need help. Not because you showed up at my door. Because you are brave and stubborn, and you look at my daughter like she is worth listening to." A tear slipped down her cheek. Then another. She laughed once, a broken sound. "You pick a great time to say that," she said, "when a man with money wants to crush you." "Yeah, well," I said, "my timing has never been great." She took a shaky breath. "I am falling for you too," she said softly, "and it scares me more than Marcus does." "Good," I said. "If we are scared together, that is still together." She leaned in then, so slow I could have stopped it. I did not. Her lips brushed mine once, light and careful, like a question. I answered by kissing her back, my hand cupping the side of her face. For a moment, everything else dropped away. The threats, the video, the farm, the town. It was just a woman who had nowhere to go and a man who thought his heart was buried with his wife, finding out both of them were wrong. When we pulled back, she rested her forehead against mine. "Okay," she whispered. "We fight, we send the video, we tell the truth. If we lose together. That is the plan," I said, messy. "Risky." Hours. Later that night, after we sent the footage and the statement and every detail we could remember to the state investigator's office, I walked through my quiet house. Emma's drawings on the fridge, my boots by the door, my parents' room now holding a duffel bag that would not be packed again if I had anything to say about it. This farm still had its ghosts. My wife's picture still sat on the mantel. My parents' coffee mugs still hung on their hooks. But for the first time in a long time, those ghosts did not feel like guards at a gate I was not allowed to pass through. They felt like witnesses, watching a man who had been stuck between grief and duty finally step forward. Laya was on the porch, wrapped in a blanket, looking out at the dark fields. I sat next to her. Our shoulders touched. "You think they will call?" she asked. "I think someone will have to look at that video," I said. "And once they do, Marcus will not be able to pretend as easily. And if they do nothing, then we keep living." I said. We keep working. We keep loving my daughter and each other. We keep being the kind of people who opened the door and the kind of people who knocked. She was quiet for a long time. Your house did not feel like a house when I walked in, she said finally. It felt like a waiting room. Like everyone had left and you were still sitting here, not knowing where to go. That is how it has felt for years. I admitted. It feels different now, she said. How like a home, she said, not because of the walls. Because of who was in it. I looked at her profile in the dim light. At the woman who had arrived on my porch with nothing but a duffel and a backbone. At the way she sat in my old jacket, holding my future in her pocket on a flash drive. You saved your own life when you drove up my road, I said. All I did was open the door. She turned to me and took my hand again. You saved more than that, she said. You saved mine and your own at the same time. We sat there until the cold drove us in. Behind us, the old farmhouse creaked and settled like it was exhaling after holding its breath for years. Out in the dark, somewhere beyond the fields, a rich man was pacing in his big house, about to find out that money does not buy everything. Not truth. Not love. Not a home built from two broken people and one little girl who believed everyone deserved pancakes on Saturday. Whatever came next, we would face it together. For the first time since Sarah died, I was not just surviving, I was living.